Hey guys, how's it going? Wooksy Gaming here, and today I'm going to show you my non-set Nomad build. This build consists of primarily just the main set or non-set pieces, so I'll take you through that. It's a fairly straightforward build, but it is really cheap and good for farming. So with that said, let's get right into it. So going over the gear list, there's not a lot we could swap out just because of how this build is. We're using all the non-set items, and these are pretty much all the non-set items that are available to us to use. The only exception to this is within the amulet slot. The boot slot we can also use like frozen marchers, however there's no real reason for that since we want the wind damage. For the gloves we can swap these out for the throat cutters, but I personally prefer the sand tribe gloves. Um, Alright, so let's get into it. So for the helmet we're going to use the wind bandana. It's a really nice helmet because it gives CDR, so between the helmet, chest, and boots, you're CDR capped. That makes us not have to run the Eye of Horus, which I'll show you the stats of as well. Um, but wind bandana, really good. Lots of wind damage, movement speed, stamina. Can't complain. The next is the Pyramid Pendant. I'm going to kind of compare them back to back with the Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus is really good if you're more so just casting. However, we're going to be basing a lot of our damage off of procs, so the Pyramid Pendant is a little better for us just because we do get a lot more attack speed. We do lose out on a little bit of wind damage, but we make that up with the armor percent, and the max HP helps a lot as well. As long as with the 10% damage reduction, as well as what I meant to say. I just can't speak today. Sword, we're pretty much just going to be using the Wind Guardian's Gladius. You could use the Nomad Sand Slicer just as a standalone, but then you don't get the shield option. Or you could use the Sand, I think it's Sand Warrior's Scimitar. Not worth using at all. It does significantly less damage compared to the Wind Guardian's Gladius, so this is by far best in slot. And that's going to bring us to the shield. The shield is the Wind's Crescent. You can also use like a Shadow Buckler. However, since we are just going pure wind damage in this build, this one's really good. It also gives you damage reduction. The damage return isn't that great, but it does help out a little bit. And it does give you some max HP and all talents, which is really nice. For the gloves, we do go Sand Tribe gloves. You could go the throat cutters if you want the attack speed, but for me, I like the max mana. I like the more wind damage. I also like just the mana percentage since we don't have mana leech within our gear. It allows us to clear the full map and still have plenty of mana left over. And we do get the 27% strength, so if you decided to aux stack your runes instead of Dow stacking, you'd be getting a ton of strength throughout the set. Right now I think I'm at, what, 27.9k without any strength stacking at all, so it's not the worst, but you definitely could strength stack in this gear. For the boots, basically going to be using the Mossaratham Marchers. Best in slot, the only other option available is the Tundra Marchers or the oh gosh, I can't remember the name of those boots. Treble boots, I think they're called. Um, the treble boots are really good just for the damage because it gives elemental damage. However, these ones are just above and beyond best in slot because they give you CDR, wind damage, movement speed, stamina, life per hit, which is really nice. And then finally we're going to go over the charm. You do have two different options for the charm. However, one is very expensive where one isn't. So you could use the Shadow Torch. It's way better. Just flat out way better. You're getting way higher attack speed, all stats, all talents, movement speed, strength, energy, stamina. It's just all around best in slot for this build. However, if you use the normal option, you're going to pick up a wind token. Wind token's really good because it gives tons of attack speed, just as a base percentage. I think it gives like 25% at level 100 or at 100% quality, so that's really good. And you also get some more damage reduction. So on your build, your damage reduction is actually really high. You can see I have 106 1000 damage reduction for only having basically 200k HP. So it's really high. It's really good. Um, the build itself doesn't take a lot of damage, even though I said it can be fairly squishy. But for example, if you get stunned or something, that's probably when you're going to die. But for standard farming and doing general wormholes, you're going to be fine. For your hero levels, I would suggest putting them into Ancient Power, but you could always put a couple points into Stamina as well, just to pull your HP up a little bit. Now for the passives, we are going to max out our Sandstorm. That's the one where, let me swap my keybinds real quick so I can show you the difference of all the skills. Okay, so we're going to be maxing out our 2. That's this. It's basically always up, as you can tell. You always have it up. It does a ton of damage. Just from what our gear is right now, it's doing over 1,000,000. So that's very nice. Just for walking through a mob, that's really good. That's going to kill most mobs in one hit. The next one we're going to do is our Demolishing Tornado. Let's see if we can get... It's this one right here. This one's pretty much always going to be up as well. As you see, second those tornadoes fall down, they're already back up again. That's due to our CDR being 50%. The last one we're going to max is Wind and Sand, and let's see if I can get that to proc. It's all those little tiny tornadoes sticking out right there. Procs quite a bit, so you get a lot of free damage out of that. Then the last 20 points we're putting into Dissipate, which is like that right there. It's the sand throwing. It doesn't do a whole lot for us, but it does help out in single target situations a little bit, so I like that. But you could always do Rupture or something, or like 20 points into Eye of Ra. That's not a bad choice either. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and end the build guide here. This was just for the non-set Nomad. I will be doing a build guide on the set as well, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, please feel free to subscribe and follow me at twitch.tv/WixieGaming. I will be streaming there full time. Hopefully within the next 1 to 2 weeks. I got my office set up, so pretty excited for that. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thanks for stopping by.